So some people might be upset Until Dawn really isn't about the video game. I can understand both sides of the argument for this one because, if you played the video game, you know kind of the ending and how it's kind of not feasible or plausible. But the Dark Anthology series, those would be kind of fun for movies, right? Or in the theaters, you have buttons and you could be like, go this way, and each movie is different. Now that would be a fun idea. Chase Lehocky here with the Blue Futon reviewing Until Dawn. What's about pretty simple premise? You have 5 friends going into the woods to try to find one of the sister's missing sister, but they get stuck at this house, this weird vortex thing, and they gotta survive until dawn, and they got 13 chances, and each night is different. And you know what? Will they survive? Will they die? Will they transform? What is going to occur in this shenanigans? So, did I like this film? I thought it was pretty good. Things in the third act really was like, don't like where it was going. But I think the overall experience was a fun time because it relied a lot more on practical gore than I thought, practical effects, and just overall just setting that I really did enjoy for what it was trying to do. So for the positives, I think the acting is pretty good overall from these 5 characters. You really get those 5 characters, and Peter Sizemore, if I'm saying his name correctly, but he is also the narrator of Until Dawn as well as the Dark Anthology series. So it has the one about the one on the boat, which that's pretty good. Then you have the one with Will Poulter. I played that one, and a lot of people didn't like that one. I really liked that one. There's the one, The Ashes in the Sand. I still haven't played that one yet. The Quarry, Chaos. There's a couple other ones out there that I really need to try to play. But this movie is shot pretty well. The director, he did the second Annabelle. He did Lights Out. And so he knows what to do with the horror movies, and you can completely tell with this movie that you're like, yep, you're doing horror, and you're doing a pretty damn good job with some of the jump scares, because there were good jump scares in this movie. There really were, where you didn't know what was going to happen, or, oh, is there something in the shadows there? Is there something in the shadows there? And I do like that style. Where I could falter this movie is this third act, as some of the writing, but we'll get to that a little bit later and talk about the positives. The positives, like I said, the look of the movie and the gore. When they do practical effects in this movie, it looks freaking fantastic. There's, I think it's the third night, bonkers, and it's absolutely just freaking fun. The overarching, like, first couple nights are fun, and you do wish it would continue on through it and throughout. But when you do have these elongated nights of them trying to figure out who these people are that are doing this to them, what is the overall premise, overall goal, and you get that type of storytelling. So to me, this is where the movie kind of falters now, is the writing of the third act as well as the story itself. So when we talk about the third act, you'll know, if you've seen this movie, you know there's exactly one part in the movie which kind of like cuts itself off and rushes itself. And you're like, what are you doing here? I understand what you're trying to do, that you think that doing this repetitiveness might be old for the audience. But when you're making it this fun and this much practical effects and this much oh shit moments, you kind of want to continue on. But like I said, there's a stopping point where you're like, I understand why you're doing it for time purposes, but doing that kind of rushes the story. And when that occurs, and when they're making decisions, it gets rushed, and you're like, okay, that's happening here. And when that rush is happening, there's a character, Megan, you're just like, why did this happen to her? It doesn't really correlate to what else is occurring in this movie and other things as well. And there is one quote-unquote friend who's not really part of the group. He is the smartest one of like, look, we got to do point A to point B to point C. If not, we are going to die. And a lot of people where it's like, no, I can't live without my friend. It's like, at a point, I understand that, but it's about survival. And if some people are making stupid decisions, you shouldn't follow those stupid decision footsteps at the same time. With that, it did play it safe at the end, in my opinion, as well, of like what could have occurred, because there was inklings of like, you might stay with the town or transform it into something, and you could see the aftermath of other people, but you kind of wanted to see something else happen, like, oh, there could have been a werewolf, or there could have been some creature that spikes are come out of a person's spine, and you're like, oh my god, this could turn into something pretty damn sweet, but it doesn't go there. So you're just like, you set up so much in the story to be like, oh, that could be cool. that could be cool. That could be cool, but it is squashed and is never talked about again. And you're it's like, what are we doing? And that goes to the correlation of playing it safe. And that was really bummer overall. And there were some, like I said, some decisions where you're just like, come on now. I don't know if that correlates or how would that person get out of that scenario. It is what it is. It's just one of the things that I really thought about in this movie. And just be forewarned for people that watch movies and you talk in the theater. Now, this is about my movie theater experience. If I wanted commentary, I would buy the Blu-ray, put it in the player, and go to the special features and push commentary on. I don't need you talking in the fucking theater when we all paid money. It's like, I don't need you to have commentary with the freaking film. And I do think there were things also, now going back to the movie, had to do that little rant over, is done, is, like I said, I just think that the overarching, like, this town had a neat premise, but it was such a underlying thing. And why this person is doing it doesn't really match with what happened to the town, what they are experiencing, and how it correlates with what is actually occurring. Because I thought, like, oh, what if they make it into this mind melt movie and they just go a completely apeshit route, which I think I would have a little bit preferred. They do kind of go a normal route with some twists and turns there, but if they went the complete, oh fuck, what is going on route, I think it would have more experience and pump that third act, because like I said, the third act really feels rushed. But overall, Until Dawn, it's a fun time. It's good R, good gore, and thank God, because like you hear this and you're like, oh, do not make this PG-13. None of the anthologies, Until Dawn. You could go with Indigo Prophecy, you go with Heavy Rain, even those are completely different production companies, but they didn't go all teen. You could have made this PG-13. You didn't, so thank you for that. But if you want a fun little R-rated movie, which has some great gore, great practical effects, but an ending that kind of feels squambled, I don't know if that's a word, but I'm going to use it. So Until Dawn will receive a 3.5 out of 5 Futons, which equals that 70%. So see the critics and user scores gave this one. So critics were at a 59% with 39 of them. No, critic consensus. So there we go. 59, 70. Jason Acker with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. Oh no, this Butontopia. You Blue Tony. Thank you for watching. For a great day. I'll watch this tape tomorrow, week from now, month, year from now. Every single freaking one of you. Peace and love. Peace and love. And are you going to stay up until dawn? Me? Probably not.